no matter what racism does, I'll restate Kendrick's lyric, no matter what racism does, okay? I'm going to stretch it a little bit here in this video. No matter what racism does, our influence is undeniable, and our ability to reframe what blackness is in the minds of, even the minds of the demelanated. Like, I don't like the phrase white. It's the dumbest phrase ever. It's like the same. Like, blackness has become a culture and a kind of iconography and a way of being that it needs to be called what it is, because it is a thing set apart from, and it is an achievement that must be called what it is, right? But those who are without melanin, in comparison to those of us who are more richly melanated, those without melanin are always going to seek to relitigate the past, to try to go back to what they feel is great, which is a time in which people who were more richly melanated were oppressed and had less opportunities. So people with no melanation could be mediocre and still come out on top. I mean, it tells you who and what people are who espouse and cling to those beliefs. They're weak, they're fragile, they're incapable of just competing on a regular playing field, and they want to be lazy. So they want everyone else to work hard. They want the management positions in which they just look at you, the hardworking Negro who they expect to be magical and to do twice as much as work. They want to go back to that. They want to go back to lying about how you're their family member and they just love you so much, although they're working you to death on their farm or in their land or in their corporation, which is the modern plantation. So we are in control. I'm sorry, I'm showing my age because I'm like yapping. We are in control of how we are seen, because they don't control everything. We are still in a point in time in which there are generations of people who we've re-educated. Unfortunately, we have to work twice as hard in order to do that. And in a video after this one, I am going to talk about Sorry, that cut off mid-video. In short, what I was saying was that it doesn't matter how much whitewashing goes on. We as a people have proven that our influence, our ability to re-educate, re-engineer, survive, et cetera, all that blackness is, we have proven that all of their efforts can be undone. And right now they're trying to prove the fact that they still got it. That white supremacy is the way to go, because because it's the poor and the poorly educated and the middle class who cling to white supremacy is just simply showing you how weak they are, right? And how incapable they are of competing without hamstringing, hobbling the competition. And they're doing it through lies. And we know this. They're like, well, it's the immigrants that are the problem instead of the rich. I mean, the whole post-Luigi class consciousness, that episode of burgeoning class consciousness and a realization of the truth, it must not stop. Because no matter what they try, it will still fail for the poor, the poorly educated, and the middle class, and everybody who's not a part of that 1%. If you're not a high millionaire and almost a billionaire and a billionaire or a trillionaire, that 1%, white supremacy doesn't work for you. All you are an enforcer of a delusion. That's why all of them are so into conspiracy theories and Q and whatever else, because your spirit, whatever you want to call it, your intuition is telling you that this lie, white supremacy, this thing that you have built into your core concept, your dogma, your religious dogma, your core programming is a lie. And it's why they're so malfunctioning, right? And they were willing to bet the farm, literally a turn of phrase in the South, to bet the farm on white supremacy. Christianity's catching it too. They just haven't quite realized that they're gonna get that tax money that they need for the rich to have have their tax cut from wherever they can take it. Taking it from the churches is easy. That is what I'll have to go look at it's more money than people realize. It's not even in the millions. It's higher than that. So in short, don't even worry about whitewashing. I hated that Black people are consistently having to redefine who they are. It's kind of like we saw over the past, I think it's been maybe 2 weeks now, that the people of Karachi and Pakistan are helping people to understand, like, we're not the stereotype. Unfortunately, people who are melanated, we're constantly having to teach people the truth beyond the lies that they're taught. So unfortunately, we got to do it, but we can do it. So we are not, and especially, man, in this age of social media, the internet, they already lost. So we will continue to best them when it comes to their constant and continual negative projections on Black people, melanated people, people of color. They just, the best things that they can do for themselves right now is to grow up and to grow up out of their white supremacy. And if they're going to refuse to grow up, grow beyond, and grow up out of white supremacy, they're going to suffer, because the rich are showing that, have given them clear indication that they are greedy. They are eternally greedy, and they're not giving it up. So everybody gets to be a kind of slave, a debt slave, a this slave, a that slave. Pretty soon they'll be taking your land. Yeah, we haven't got there. FAFO, my people, FAFO, my neighbors. All because America has been, I told you guys, America has been demonetized in ways you all don't believe it yet. And we are losing our allies. And we are losing the ability for Americans to be seen as people who other countries want to allow into their borders. And after we get done with this, ain't no apology tour gonna fix this. They are about to foobar America beyond all recognition. So you best get starting to fighting, because this mess where you stand outside of the treasury, you know what we've been seeing, where people just stand there, give grandiose speeches and talk about things going wrong when they're the people who should be fixing them. That's not going to help. The South Koreans gave you an example. You should be following it.